So let's get started talking about the Whiner of the Week. For those of you who don't know, the Whiner of the Week is a weekly award we give out through my website, kenokel.com. And we pick something that is happening in the world that kind of makes you scratch your head and just go, I can't believe that. That is just outrageous. What's the deal? I don't always go for the obvious. The world of politics has a ton of content, but I think there's a lot of people who are doing a much better job of covering that than perhaps me. So I tend to try to find things that maybe you haven't heard about, and maybe you should. So this week, I kind of focused on something that makes me a little nervous. You ever been driving around in your car, everything's going fine, there's a big semi-truck behind you, an 18-wheeler, and you're maybe a little nervous, because that's a fast-moving vehicle that could crush you easily. Most of the drivers, though, really good. But it turns out that you might have been driving around the country, and there could have been someone behind you driving a semi who had a driver's license that was not legitimately earned. This traces back to something that was happening in California over a 4-year period. Federal investigators have been working on this. They've arrested several people. A couple people have already said, I'm guilty of the charges. This involved people applying for these commercial driver's licenses that allow you to drive the big semi-truck, to be able to go on our nation's roads, doing that type of stuff. And for the most part, you think, okay, those people went in, they got that special driver's license, they passed the written test, they passed the driving test, and they're good to go. Get the rubber stamp. That didn't happen. There was over 100 instances where they have found that drivers paid up to $5,000 to get the commercial driver's license, even though they didn't earn it. They hadn't done anything to get them. This apparently, the investigators have found, was a collaboration between certain people at the Department of Motor Vehicles in California, as well as some truck driving schools. Now, a couple people from the DMV have already pled guilty. They've admitted, yeah, we were doing this, fraud, all that type of stuff. Some of the other cases are still pending. It's a few different court actions that have to happen, but it seems that people are basically saying, yeah, we did this. Now, as a result, we already know of 100 cases where people paid money to get it. There's another 500 cases that the government is investigating. For now, they have pretty much torn up those licenses, said, no. You got to come in, you got to get retested or rechecked in order for this to happen. It's pretty frightening that someone put making a fast buck ahead of safety, because those trucks can be extremely dangerous if someone doesn't know what they're doing. It's also unfair that we may have had a situation where an inexperienced, uncertified driver was taking a job away from someone who has been doing the work, put in the time, and understands how to quickly use the vehicle. Now, I know some of those people who bought their licenses, that sneaky way, maybe they were totally qualified, but do you want to be behind them on a hill? That would make me very nervous. So they're the Whiner of the Week. One kind of good news, bad news thing about it, the DMV in California is going to be investigating other ways to make sure someone can't go in the computer and change things saying, oh yeah, you got a commercial driver's license? Yeah, no problem. That's good, but you would hope those safeguards would have been there originally, so we would never would have gotten to that point, but I realize you can't do everything for everyone. So that is our Whiner of the Week today. Hope you maybe learned a thing or two about it, and just remember, as I said before, I know people are tempted by shortcuts sometimes, but they're just not worth it. They're always going to catch up to you. And, well, in this case, 25 accidents have been traced back to those drivers who weren't certified. Now, I don't know if they just, backed into something, or we know for sure there weren't any fatalities. But that makes me a little nervous, that it shows that, no, these people really, they weren't quite ready to be driving a big rig around. And they shouldn't have. So I'm glad the investigators found that. And hopefully this will convince people in other states not to try it. So that is the Whiner of the Week for today. Hope you're having a great Thursday. I'll be back soon with some other Periscope updates. And of course, if you think that you'd like to read the rest of this article, go to my website, kenokel.com. It's just like my username here. Yeah, real sneaky how I did that. And go to the blog. You'll see a bunch of features. One of them is Whiner of the Week. Comes out every Thursday. All right, Periscope people. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks so much. I'm Ken Okel. Take care.